My name's Imran Nuri. I'm the founder and CEO of the 52 Million Project, a 501c3 nonprofit going after a long-term vision of engaging 1 million people and donating just $1 a week. When our donors give $1 a week, it goes to a different nonprofit fighting poverty every single week. And this week's beneficiary is an Arkansas-based nonprofit called Our House, who's set to receive over $570 from us, thanks to our 570 active donors and counting. With us here today is Ben Goodwin, the executive director for Our House. Welcome, Ben.
Thank you, Imran. I'm happy to be here.
One of my favorite parts of starting this podcast recently, because it's only been around for a couple of weeks, has been the chance to hear directly from our nonprofits how passionate and enthusiastic they are about the work that they're doing. So tell us more about what Our House does.
Yeah, thank you. I am passionate about it, and it's hard not to be when every day you get to go into work and work right alongside people who are just working really hard to make a better life for themselves, transform their lives, to undertake the really difficult journey from homelessness and extreme poverty to independence and forward momentum that's going to lead you to whatever your dreams are. And it's hard work, and it's hard work for our staff. It's hard work for our clients, but it's just again incredibly gratifying and motivating to just play a small part in that transformation in people's lives. So that's what we do at Our House. We're based in Little Rock, Arkansas. Our mission is to empower families and individuals to escape homelessness in a lasting and permanent way. And we do that by taking an approach that is holistic, that recognizes that every person's different. Every person has different hopes and dreams, has different skills and abilities, has different challenges and obstacles. And we just want to be a partner to each person, each family we serve, sort of like sitting in the passenger seat while they're driving the car, and we want to engage in a mode of empowerment where we're helping them navigate, helping to contribute our experience, helping other people navigate these challenges, be an encourager, and then help provide resources that help them be successful in that journey. We found that our work is so much more, not just more gratifying, but also more successful when our clients really are in the driver's seat and they're really moving towards what their goals are, what their vision is for their bright future, for themselves, for their children, for their families. That's what really motivates them, and that's what motivates us. And we're just there to help facilitate that on their behalf.
Yeah, I think that's so important too, that you're kind of like it's such an important piece of addressing homelessness or near homelessness to empower the individual and know that they are an individual, right? That they're seen, that they're understood. And it's great that you all take that approach of, like you said, sitting in the passenger seat, letting them, or just kind of giving them guidance, right? Mm-hmm. We love to hear that. I'm sure that adds to the impact that you have and the results that you have. So with a gift of over $570 from us, what's the impact that something like that can have for the individuals and families that you serve?
Yeah, well, first, we're tremendously grateful for the support from your membership and all the people who were inspired by the 52 Million Project, and just really thrilled to be a part of it. And $570, it can help in so many ways. The first thing that comes to mind for me is that's about a month's rent for a lot of our clients, and we do provide some rental assistance to our families, especially as they're moving out of our shelter, as they're avoiding homelessness. We engage with some families before they have to come into our shelter in the first place, and a little bit of rent support, utility support. This past week or last week, with the winter weather we had, I think the whole country, but especially in this part of the country, recognized that the utilities, like the electricity and the natural gas and the water in your home, are not luxuries at all. I mean, they're essentials, and you don't have much of a home if you don't have those things. And so a lot of our families are a little help can go a long way to lasting stability for them. And so that's the first thing that comes to mind. But there's a whole host of other things We provide on-site high quality early childhood education. And so $570 is a month's worth of education for one of the kids in our early learning center. We provide out of school time support for our school age children, helping them, succeed in school and build confidence. And we're open all summer, we're open all spring break, all winter break. We build really strong relationships with kids. I think those relationships have been particularly important during the pandemic when, families have been forced to make hard decisions between virtual or in-person schooling, when parents have had to sometimes step in and provide virtual schooling. I think of those families that are participating in our youth program recognize the value of that relationship that they have with our staff. And so anyway, $570 would pay for at least a month of that programming for each of the kids in that. And the list goes on and on. We get involved in our families' lives in so many different ways, both parents and children and whole families, mental health services. It would pay for several sessions of mental health services for either an individual or a whole family. And then, brass tacks, the shelter itself. In some ways, it's one of our more efficient programs. And I think $570 would probably pay for about a month of shelter for a family in our program.
That's so fantastic to hear. I love hearing how, I think I and all of our donors love to hear it kind of like quantified. How does that donation make like what exactly does it do? And that's what we love to hear. And I think that, that first thing you said about the rent, that was something that I know was eye-opening to me, and something that is eye-opening to a lot of our donors as well, is how like we supported a homeless shelter in Chicago last summer that specifically helps homeless women. And we asked them, what is our gift going to do? And they said it's going to pay for the security deposit for one woman to end her cycle of homelessness, because she has the full-time job. She has, the consistent income to pay her rent. The barrier is having enough to pay the security deposit. And so, for a $570 donation, with where we're at with 570 donors, it's kind of like that sweet spot of the security deposit ending a cycle of homelessness. And that's exciting to hear that from our perspective, we have hundreds of people who are just giving up $1 this week, who will now then end somebody's cycle of homelessness.
Yeah, it sounds like he or she put it even better than me, but that's right. We're not in the business of paying that rent forever. We're here to provide a one-time engagement with a family that's gonna, hit right at that sweet spot, like you said, because they're the ones who are working hard, making money, saving money, paying their rent going forward. We can just help them get from point A to point B, where they don't need us anymore, and we can turn around and help the next family. And so your membership has helped us do exactly that.
That's amazing. So I have one last question for you. And for anybody listening at home that wants to further support you, I know I saw on your donation page, what's nice about that is that you kind of break it down into the areas that you work in. And so donors can really choose exactly what they're most passionate about, what they really want to help out with. But in addition to making an extra donation, how can people further support the work that you're doing?
Well, I don't often get that question from people who are spread all around the country and the world. And so I will have to, think through that. I mean, locally, we rely heavily on volunteer support and in-kind donations of things. And so I guess, my mind would go to that. Like every week we publish a wish list, and it's things that we've identified that specific people in our program need. And, if anyone was motivated to get more involved, that'd be an easy way to do it. There's always an Amazon link, and it might be buying like some work boots for someone who just got a job at a construction site. It might be buying a gas card for a family that, just needs a little extra help this month. And those are things that could be done remotely, and that would really help. And then, the other thing that just helps generally is kind of back to one of the things you said, of seeing homeless people as individuals. And, in whatever community you're in, I think we all have work to do to fully embrace the homeless, people in our community as part of our community, as real, individuals with strengths that we want to bring into the community, and that we want to embrace, and that with challenges that we want to help them overcome. And so whatever local community you're involved in, I'd encourage you to strike up a conversation with the homeless people that you pass on the street, or reach out to a local homeless serving nonprofit to see how you can help. Because ultimately, I think it's a challenge on all of us to really, be the best neighbors we can be to everyone in our community, including those who are experiencing challenges.
Exactly. That's fantastic. That's a fantastic way to put how people can help more. And it's honestly like the problem of homelessness is not, solely in Little Rock, Arkansas, right? It's everywhere, unfortunately. And so we can all do more to be better advocates for people who are experiencing homelessness. And there's more we can do to help even in those little ways, like having a little conversation, making eye contact, having, just saying hello and sharing a smile. But thank you so much, Ben. And thank you again to each and every one of our donors for empowering a different nonprofit, fighting poverty every single week, just like Our House. If you're not already a donor, go to 52millionproject.org to start giving your dollar a week today. Thank you again to Ben, and thanks to the entire Our House team.